Welcome to episode 115 of your CySA Plus Prepcast. In this session, we begin our exploration of Domain 4, focusing on one of the most overlooked but essential aspects of modern cybersecurity, reporting and communication. This domain emphasizes the importance of conveying technical findings, security events, and risk assessments in a way that is timely, accurate, and actionable by both technical and non-technical stakeholders. Whether identifying vulnerabilities, responding to incidents, or meeting regulatory obligations, your ability to communicate clearly can significantly impact your organization's ability to protect its assets and recover from attacks. This episode serves as an overview of key reporting structures, communication strategies, and performance metrics used across cybersecurity operations. Effective cybersecurity reporting begins with the clear identification and documentation of vulnerabilities discovered during assessments. Each report must explain the technical nature of the vulnerability in language appropriate for its audience, while also identifying potential impacts if left unaddressed. This includes outlining how the vulnerability may be exploited, what systems are exposed, and how business operations could be affected. Accurate descriptions help stakeholders prioritize remediation and allocate resources accordingly. A comprehensive report will also list the specific hosts, applications, and systems affected. This helps clarify the scope of exposure and enables system owners to respond efficiently. Without this level of detail, organizations risk addressing vulnerabilities inconsistently or overlooking critical systems. Identifying affected assets provides the necessary context for operational decision-makers to act without delay and coordinate across business units where multiple systems may share the same exposure. One of the most useful elements in modern vulnerability reporting is the inclusion of standardized risk scoring. The Common Vulnerability Scoring System is commonly used for this purpose. This scoring model assigns numerical values to vulnerabilities based on their complexity, impact, and exploitability. Including such scores in reports brings consistency to prioritization, allowing technical teams and business leaders to align on which vulnerabilities should be addressed first. Risk scoring simplifies complex technical assessments into values that can be integrated into broader risk management practices. Just as important as identifying issues is recommending how to resolve them. A well-crafted report includes specific and actionable remediation steps. These might involve applying security patches, changing configuration settings, introducing new security controls, or deploying compensating mechanisms to limit exposure. Recommendations should be tailored to the environment in which the vulnerability was found, accounting for system dependencies, operational needs, and potential limitations in available resources or capabilities. Recurring vulnerabilities deserve special attention. If the same issue appears across multiple assessments or reappears after remediation, it signals deeper issues in processes or technologies. These vulnerabilities may stem from systemic misconfigurations, weak change management practices, or legacy software that cannot be easily patched. By documenting repeat occurrences, analysts can elevate the conversation from tactical response to strategic planning, encouraging investment in long-term security improvements or architectural changes. Another component of cybersecurity reporting involves demonstrating compliance. Many organizations must align with regulatory frameworks, such as the General Data Protection Regulation, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or industry-specific requirements like the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. Compliance reporting involves collecting and presenting evidence that security measures meet these standards. It may include configuration snapshots, access control summaries, patching histories, and audit trail reviews. These reports support audits and reduce the risk of legal penalties. Vulnerability assessments often result in the creation of action plans. These plans outline how identified issues will be addressed over time. They typically define the tasks to be completed, assign responsibilities, establish remediation deadlines, and set milestones to track progress. Action plans not only provide a roadmap for security improvements, but also allow organizations to demonstrate due diligence, particularly during follow-up audits or executive reviews. In some cases, organizations may face challenges that inhibit their ability to remediate vulnerabilities. These inhibitors should be openly communicated in reports. Common barriers include the use of unsupported legacy systems, proprietary technologies with limited update paths, operational risks associated with patching, or limited staff capacity. Identifying these inhibitors helps leadership understand where trade-offs exist and where additional investment or long-term planning is required to address persistent exposure. Equally important is identifying and communicating with the right stakeholders. Different audiences require different levels of detail and different types of context. A vulnerability report intended for a system administrator will differ significantly from one prepared for an executive leader. Analysts must ensure that findings are presented in formats and language appropriate to each stakeholder, whether that involves detailed technical data, summarized risk scores, or visual dashboards showing vulnerability trends and status updates. Finally, reports should include relevant metrics and key performance indicators. These may include the number of critical vulnerabilities identified over time, the average time required to apply patches, or the prevalence of specific types of weaknesses across the environment. Such metrics help organizations track their progress, identify areas of consistent weakness, and prioritize future efforts. Metrics also provide a measurable view of risk, which can be used to support budget requests, justify tool acquisition, or set performance targets for security teams. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are more security courses on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Incident response reporting begins with a well-written executive summary. This section serves as the primary entry point for non-technical stakeholders, including executives, board members, and business leaders. The summary should be concise but informative, outlining the incident's severity, the key systems impacted, and the actions taken to contain and resolve the situation. It should avoid technical jargon while clearly conveying the significance of the event and any remaining concerns. A strong executive summary ensures that senior leaders understand the incident's relevance to organizational risk and strategic priorities. Beyond the summary, incident reports must include a detailed account of the event. This includes who discovered the incident, what assets were affected, when detection and containment occurred, where the breach originated, and why the incident was able to occur. This who, what, when, where, and why structure helps ensure completeness and consistency across reports. It also makes it easier for reviewers to identify patterns across multiple incidents, which can inform improvements to policies, controls, and awareness efforts. A clear timeline of the incident is essential. Analysts should document key milestones, including when the attack began, when it was detected, what containment steps were initiated, when eradication was achieved, and when systems were restored. This timeline offers valuable insight into the responsiveness of the organization and can help identify areas where detection or decision-making processes could be improved. A precise and accurate timeline also supports legal or regulatory inquiries should external reporting be required. Impact analysis is another critical element of effective incident reporting. This section of the report should describe what business operations were affected, how customers or partners were impacted, what data may have been compromised, and what financial or reputational harm resulted. Including this analysis helps contextualize the incident's significance and supports risk-adjusted decision-making in the aftermath. Understanding impact also informs discussions about insurance coverage, liability, and reputational repair strategies. Every report must include actionable recommendations based on the lessons learned during the incident. These may include technical improvements such as adjusting firewall rules or updating endpoint configurations. They may also suggest process enhancements, such as revising escalation protocols or introducing new training modules for staff. Recommendations should be specific, prioritized by risk, and assigned to responsible teams. This helps ensure that the organization not only recovers from the incident, but also becomes stronger as a result. Communication during incidents must follow predefined protocols. Security teams must notify legal counsel, public relations staff, and compliance officers as needed. These individuals help shape the organization's response to regulatory and public scrutiny. Delays or miscommunications at this stage can compound the damage caused by the incident. Pre-established communication channels, designated points of contact, and clearly written messaging templates all contribute to a smoother and more professional external communication effort. Customer communication is particularly sensitive. When incidents affect user data, customers must be informed in a manner that is transparent, empathetic, and compliant with all applicable regulations. This includes identifying what data was affected, what the organization is doing in response, and what customers should do to protect themselves. These messages should be delivered quickly but thoughtfully, avoiding speculation and focusing on actionable information. A well-managed communication strategy helps preserve customer trust even during difficult circumstances. Regulatory reporting may be required depending on the type of incident and the nature of the affected data. Incident response plans must include clear guidance on when and how to notify regulatory agencies or law enforcement authorities. These procedures should define responsible roles, documentation requirements, notification timelines, and expected content. Failing to meet regulatory deadlines can result in legal consequences and additional reputational damage, making preparedness in this area an operational necessity. Root cause analysis must be documented in full. This means identifying not just the exploited vulnerability or error, but also the underlying systemic weaknesses that allowed it to occur. These may include gaps in patch management, weak authentication practices, insufficient network segmentation, or poor user awareness. Understanding the root cause helps prevent similar incidents in the future and supports targeted improvements across both technical and administrative domains. Finally, reports should document the lessons learned and include a review of response metrics such as the mean time to detect, mean time to respond, and mean time to remediate. These metrics offer a quantitative lens through which to assess the effectiveness of the incident response effort. They also support internal benchmarking and continuous improvement initiatives. By tracking these values across multiple incidents, organizations gain insight into how well they are maturing over time and where additional resources or focus may be needed. To summarize episode 115, effective reporting and communication are core pillars of any mature cybersecurity program. Whether dealing with vulnerabilities, incidents, or compliance obligations, clear and timely communication ensures that the right people are informed and empowered to take action. Reports that are thorough, consistent, and tailored to their audience help reduce risk, improve response efforts, and strengthen long-term resilience. Mastery of these practices supports success on the CySA Plus exam and positions analysts as reliable contributors to their organization's cybersecurity leadership. Thanks for listening. To learn more about cybersecurity, please visit baremetalcyber.com. There you will find best-selling books, videos, and even more free cybersecurity training courses. Please subscribe to the Prepcast and our various podcasts. And thanks for listening.